It would be nice if I could use my new microphone the right way. See? Wouldn't that be nice? All right, let's try this again. Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot. I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore. All right, boys and girls, we will be talking to you. I want to find out your thoughts, how you would rebuild the New York Jets. Call-ins are going to start at 8:30 like they always do. I want to go over a little bit of my thoughts, and then we'll kick it over to you guys and figure out how you would rebuild the New York Jets. All right, so not quarterback-wise, head coaching-wise, across the NFL, we have all our coaches in place now. Bears wind up getting Matt Eberflus. Broncos, Nathaniel Hackett, that is Paul Hackett's son, former offensive coordinator for us. Giants get Brian Daboll from the Bills. Josh McDaniels goes to the Raiders. Vikings get Kevin O'Connell. Jaguars, Doug Peterson. Dolphins get Bong Shula, a.k.a. Mike McDaniel. The Texans get Lovie Smith, and the Saints just hired defensive coordinator Dennis Allen for their open position as well. So we get to talk a little bit about that. Oh, I see in the chat I started my Streamlabs bot, and I guess it's working. I have no idea how it actually works. So if you figure it out, let me know. Oh, it doesn't even matter. It's just saying to vote, and there's no options. Cool. This is what happens when you try to tinker with stuff beforehand. All right. So I guess before we get into anything too serious, I want to talk about our sponsor this week. That is DraftKings. Here's some big news just in time for the Super Bowl. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Super Bowl 56, is officially live right here in New York State with mobile sports. That means you can place bets no matter where you are with DraftKings Sportsbook. And DraftKings is even making it more exciting. Listen to this. DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer that you don't want to miss. Just bet $5 or more on the Super Bowl, and win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up using code JetsTalk. Bet just $5 or more and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's code JetsTalk this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full details. Must be 21 or older and physically present in New York. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. All right. With that out of the way, I want to talk about our first topic. And this is something regarding one of our wide receivers that we all want to have back, and that's one Braxton Berrios. Rumors coming out that he wants top slot money or that he should want top slot money, which, look, I want $30 million a year. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it. But we'll see. We shall see. It's interesting. I guess that poll is working. If I ever had what the questions were going to be, it might actually work. So what is Braxton Berrios worth? Is he top returner money? Is that all you're going to wind up bringing him in for? Or are you going to give him the top slot money? I think the argument could be made that they do like Elijah Moore out wide, as much as everyone in this chat probably thinks he should go into the slot. So I guess you could argue that Berrios is going to be a starting slot. I don't necessarily see it like that. I think that there's probably some consideration that you have to give into the pecking order here. Like, there's value in him being healthy. There's value in him being a team player. There's value in him being able to, multiple roles and everything. Like, if I had to come down to Berrios or Mims on this roster, it would definitely be Berrios, because of everything that he can do, the talent he's got, the rapport with Zach Wilson, everything like that. But $9 million. Are you going to give him $9 million? Part of me wants to say, like, hey, look, Keelan Cole didn't do a whole heck of a lot for us. That was $5.5 million. Jamison Crowder renegotiated down to $5 million. You want to say both those guys aren't coming back? You want to give that money to Braxton Berrios? Call it a day? Part of me wants to say that. The other part of me realizes that it is a hard cap sport and is significantly harder if you're overpaying players at positions that you probably shouldn't. Or maybe not positions, but if you're not getting the value out of your picks. Because the real trick to the NFL is having value in your salary cap. Your quarterback on a rookie deal, all of a sudden he's, slinging it around. Joe Burrow, it's amazing. They're in the Super Bowl and they're going to have an even better team next year because they've got like $50 or $60 million in salary cap space and everyone's going to want to play with that team. Ugh. I want everyone to play with us. The other argument is you have a homegrown player that you stole from the Patriots. So you let him walk. He's going to go to the Patriots for like $8 million if you don't pay him the $9 million. That's a little concerning. But he's a homegrown talent. How much talent out in free agency are we really going to rope into coming here? Realistically, if you're looking at the big fish, how many big fish want to pay New York, New Jersey taxes? How many think that Joe Douglas is going to be the highest bidder for some of these guys? Like, I'm sorry, I don't feel that way. I don't think he is. He doesn't strike me. I mean, look, Carl Lawson, $15 million a year. That's the highest free agent we've signed. I don't see it going like very high. I don't know. I like retaining our own. I like bringing in guys that make sense from a value standpoint. Braxton Berrios is an interesting case. So the argument could be made. If you're not going to sign a bunch of free agents, do you just retain your own for a little bit more? I'm always a fan of that. I really am. As much as it's like frustrating, and I know a lot of people are like, don't want to pay that kind of money, but how frustrated are you when you're like, hey, I want a raise and they're not going to give you a raise, but then they wind up going and hiring some guy out on the streets and they bring him in for more than what your raise could have been, right? Everyone's been there. That's just how the world works. You get promoted from within. Generally, you don't get quite as much. And free agent wise, it's bad business. Like I said, value. Lots of other stuff we could talk about. I saw a rumor saying that the Jets should trade number 10 for Daniel Hunter. That's not exactly where I'd want to go, I think. I mean, he's a great edge rusher. I would be really excited if we got him. But a first-round pick, number 10 overall, there's a lot of edge rushers I really like. Like, I'd rather trade down from 10 and take one of the young edge rushers now. But then you run the risk of like, oh, are you getting a Vernon Gholston who's never going to have a sack in the NFL, and you just passed on the opportunity to get a guy that got the most sacks, like up to 50 in the shortest amount of time in the NFL? What do you do? What do you do? Way too much at stake here. If it were me, I would probably sniff around that trade. If you could get him and pair him with Carl Lawson, I'm all about it. The only thing is, if you wind up having Kayvon Thibodeau sitting there and now you're like, oh, great, we just traded for like another expensive pass rusher, because you got to think you're going to have $15 million locked up with Carl Lawson, probably $15 to $20 million in Daniel Hunter. Yikes. It's a lot of money, but at a good position. I like the idea of balancing. Like, you pay Corey Davis, you draft Elijah Moore. You pay George Fant, you draft Mekhi Becton. That sort of thing, right? You kind of wombo combo it where the young guy can get some experience from a vet, but you're also not like paying way too much money. Probably should have hid the Berrios thing as I was talking about Daniel Hunter. Whatever. All right, what are you guys talking about in the chat? Rich Ritter says, what message does it send if we don't take care of our own? Rich, that is a great point. Let's see if I can throw that up on the screen, because that's worth discussing. I will find it. Bam! Rich Ritter. What message does it send the rest of our team if we don't retain our own? He's the guy that probably should be the priority. Like, you got Foley Fatukasi. You're already letting Marcus May walk. I do not see us holding on to him. $6 million is kind of where I thought he should land. If you want to say $7 million, okay. Cole Beasley, I think, signed for $7.5 million. Although I don't know where he is in the pecking order, but you're talking number one wide receiver, whether it be free agent or the draft, should be before him. Corey Davis, Elijah Moore. Those three receivers should be ahead of Braxton Berrios. Then whatever tight end we bring in. You got to figure this offense is going to run tight end heavy. So now you're at least down to 4. And then I'd argue Michael Carter, you're probably talking Berrios being like the 5th or 6th option out of the backfield. Not out of the backfield, but 5th or 6th option on this offense. And you're going to have plays that are drawn up to him. They'll have end arounds and things like that. But look, Elijah Moore can also do those end arounds. So I get the feeling that Braxton Berrios is not going to be on this team next year. And I don't love it. It's definitely something that might keep me up at night. What else you guys talk about? Matthias says, yes, trade down from 10, a lot of depth. This draft is heavy in rounds 2 through 4, which is what we feel like every year. I would say the guys from pick like 20 through maybe the end of the second round are all probably close. So if you could trade down, pick up an extra second, maybe you do something like that. Let's see. Mark Riss says, and then we already paid John Franklin Myers, and Quinnen has a big payday coming up. Quinnen, I don't think we're going to restructure just yet. I think we're going to, unless he wants to lock in at a lower rate right now, I think we're going to let him play out his 4th year. I do think we exercise his 5th year option because we have to do that this offseason. John Franklin Myers, look, I don't think it's an overpay. I don't think it is. Not that you said it was an overpay, but I know a lot of people are upset with the John Franklin Myers signing and saying this guy was, MIA for a little bit. I don't agree with that. Mark Riss says that would be 60 or 70 million on D-line. So he's saying Carl Lawson, John Franklin Myers, Quinnen Williams, and Daniel Hunter all getting signed. Perfectly acceptable response there, Mark. Definitely get it. Let's see. If Tibbs isn't there at 4, we need to take either Ikem Ekwonu or Sauce Gardner, says Texas Toast. I would not take Gardner that high. I like him a lot, and if things shook out a certain way, maybe I'd take him at 10. But taking him at 4, I would be very upset with that. Just because I feel like offensive line is a bigger need. I think edge rush is a huge need. And if you're already wasting a premium asset on a corner, that I don't love. Gitmo Bob says the Rams and Tampa don't seem to have a problem signing all their players. Why can't the Jets? All right. So first off, they had Tom Brady. Gitmo. Everyone wants to play with Tom Brady. After Tom Brady gets there, Gronk, Fournette, Antonio Brown, like all these guys wind up signing, and then you get guys back on cheaper deals because they want to try and win a Super Bowl. We don't have a Tom Brady yet. That's what you want to get to. You want to get Wilson to that point where guys are willing to take a little bit of a discount to play here. So that's probably more of an argument to bring in as much offensive firepower as possible, and then figure out the defense after that. Because maybe defensive guys want to play with an offense that has the firepower to do that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know like what the majority of players are looking for. Is it just money, or is it like an actual winning team? Let's see. NY Jets fan 4. What does it mean when New England always lets their good guys walk for more money, and then 2 years later they go back to New England? LOL. Berrios is asking for $9 million. See you later, Braxton. Again, it's one of those things where they had the quarterback for so long, and a quarterback that was taking less money to be there. Like I cannot tell you how big of an advantage Tom Brady has had throughout his entire career because he was taking less than what he should have. The majority of his career, he was outside the top 10 as far as paid quarterbacks ranking. We just don't have that. We don't have that. Kaiser, what's up, brother? How you doing? He says, Treylon Burks, in my opinion, looks like the best wide receiver in the draft on paper at the moment. He has a catch radius, size, speed, big hands, good character, etc. Everything you'd want in a wide receiver. When I look at Treylon Burks, I see Deebo Samuel light. I shouldn't even say light. I see Deebo Samuel. Like, this guy's going to be able to run through everything. He's got an enormous catch radius. I like him more than Drake London personally. I was looking up Garrett Wilson. I did a little bit more kind of research into him. I love the route running. I love the separation he gets. God, Ohio State wide receivers just scare the bejesus out of me. I don't know if that's like, I don't know how to fix that. What else we got? Richard, aka Dick Delgado, says, "Sorry I'm late. I was busy. Always." Or anyways, the Jets need to get both an offensive and defensive lineman. Do not trade any of the Williams. Do not trade any of the Williams and get a fast wide receiver. Any of the Williams. Quinnen? Is that what you're talking about? Anyway, yes, I agree. Offensive line, defensive line. That's where you would like to see the New York Jets finish up. The NY Bully drops in. He says, "I'm really digging Kenneth Walker. He put up 236 attempts, 1,636 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns, 6.2 yards per carry. I'd take that at pick 34 to pair with Carter. He'd be unstoppable." I completely disagree, NY Bully. And it's not because I don't like Kenneth Walker. I haven't done enough research, so I haven't even remotely looked at running back, which probably tells you all you need to know about my stance on running back right now. I like Michael Carter. I want to re-sign Coleman. Ty Johnson's fine as the third guy. I would like a late round running back, possibly. So I would not spend a top pick on this. But I'll have to look into him. Thomas Cahill. Thomas Cahill drops in with a super chat, says, "Perion Winfrey is a beast. We need him." Perion Winfrey was the MVP of the Senior Bowl. There was another defensive lineman that had 2 sacks. It's like Maye Boye? Is that what his name is? I think it is. 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, and a forced fumble. The Jets are going to draft some of these guys from the Senior Bowl, 100%. I told you. The 49ers drafted 4 guys from the Senior Bowl that they coached. The Ravens have drafted 44% of their draft picks from the Senior Bowl for the last 5 years. Boye Mafe, that's the word. That's the name. Knew I was forgetting the name. But yes, bringing in someone that can get to the quarterback would be important. I want an edge rusher, personally. Let's see. What else are you guys talking about in here? Nathan Wygonic says, "If we take Icky at 4 and you have George Karlaftis and Burks at 10, who are you taking?" How did we address receiver in free agency? If we sign someone like Allen Robinson, then yeah, I'm probably taking someone like Karlaftis or Johnson out of FSU, one of the edge rushers. There's going to be a few guys that you could possibly look at. I wouldn't be opposed to trading down in that situation, but if we didn't get a wide receiver, I would be looking at Burks, London, or Wilson. I think you have to help out. Your wide receiver there, or your running back there. Sorry. Alex says Jermaine Johnson at 10. I don't really want to take him at 10. I could see him winding up rising a lot throughout the combine because his stock was middle of the second round and he's already up to like number 20 since the end of the season. So I could see him, if he tests well, going pretty high. James Jett says he would take Devin Lloyd. I like Devin Lloyd a lot. I don't know if I would. He definitely fits, right? Like there's part of me when I look at this defense and I'm thinking, okay, Kyle Hamilton could look like Cam Chancellor. Maybe Devin Lloyd could be Fred Warner from San Francisco. Like all these guys that Robert Saleh has had and how they may relate to players that he's had in the past is fascinating to me. Let's see. Kaiser says I would go with Zion Johnson and a tight end in the second round. I really like that. My ideal situation, Kayvon Thibodeau falls to 4. You take him at 4. 10, you're taking Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, whatever. Or you trade down and you do the same thing. Or you take a tight end, I guess. Like maybe you could go Allen Robinson free agency, Thibodeau at 4, trade down from 10, get Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd, and then go Zion Johnson, the guard/center, now center possibly, from Boston College. He's taking some snaps at the Senior Bowl as a center because he never did it in college. And Trey McBride. I'd sign up for that. Here's some interesting news. My friends and I were talking about this just prior to me coming on stream, so I haven't really done a whole lot of research. Shane Howard says, this is so far-fetched, but news on Kyler is he might be upset with Arizona and may want out. Yes, we won't know Zach's upside, but would you trade Zach and some picks for Kyler? He's definitely quarterback 1. Put it this way. If that situation arose, I guess you'd probably have to consider it. I'm not fishing for that at all. And I think there's probably other teams that he could go to. I don't think he's going anywhere. What's happening is he's removing all his social media and the Cardinals' names off his social media because he's going to be able to start renegotiating his rookie contract. Basically, after your 3rd year in the league, that's when you can renegotiate your rookie deal. Now, I don't know if that starts as of the end of his last game. They can start renegotiating, or he has to wait till like March 16th when the new league year actually begins. Then he can renegotiate. But I would be shocked if he went anywhere. I mean, they're going all in on this guy. He's got a ton of receivers. Like, there's really he's got no state income tax. Like, why on earth would you want to leave Arizona with what you have set up right there? That would make no sense. Absolutely no sense. But I mean, I guess if they offer like, hey, we want Kyler for Wilson, straight up, you got to consider it, I guess, but I wouldn't do it. Or I don't think it's realistic that would happen. Slim Reaper says, thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, we'll be fine without Berrios. I don't think he'll be as productive as he was with us. Only team he'll be great with is either the Texans or Jags. I disagree. I think Berrios is a good player in this league. I think he proved when he had enough touches throughout the course of this season that he was able to get things done. We had guys injured. We were out. He was reliable. He's sure-handed. I don't want to lose Berrios, but I do think we will be fine. I think we've got enough. You know what? Maybe we won't have enough because if Keelan Cole, look, if Berrios leaves, maybe I consider extending an offer to Jamison Crowder, but definitely Berrios would be who I'd prefer to have. The NY Bully drops in with super chat. It says, offensive tackle Trevor Penning from UNI. Impressed at the Senior Bowl. Tackles like Charles Cross are slated to drop. If Cross is there at 10, do you take him? No. Unless we go like edge in the first round. I would not want Cross. I prefer a guy with some positional flexibility, and to my knowledge, I think he's only played tackle. Trevor Penning, impressing at the Senior Bowl. I think he was Pro Football Focus's #1 overall tackle, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he makes it to us in the second round. I think he gets scooped up somewhere at the tail end of the first, a team that's losing a guy. Who knows? Maybe Orlando. Is it Orlando Brown? I think it was Orlando Brown that got traded to the Chiefs. He's looking for a big contract. Maybe there's some situation where he doesn't come back, and then all of a sudden Cross is there for the Chiefs at the end of the draft. I don't know. Stefano says trade out of 4 or 10. Acquire more picks. Grab Jermaine Johnson. In the teens or early 20s, seems like a clear third edge rusher. Kid's got it all. I like Jermaine Johnson a lot. I would, at this point in the way too early offseason without combine and everything, I like Jermaine Johnson more than Karlaftis personally. And that's me saying I would have taken Karlaftis at 4 at one point. So everything's changing. Everything's changing as you see more and more people, or more and more competition. You see more and more metrics and interviews and things like that. You'll get more hype. Kevin Henry, helping Zach would be getting Allen Robinson, Njoku, get best available, then get McBride, find a short yardage running back. Yeah, Henry, look, I'm all about that. If I had to make a realistic mock offseason for the New York Jets, Allen Robinson is the receiver that I'm penciling in for us just because of his relationship with Robert Saleh. I think he's going to come in at a little bit of a discount. And David Njoku from the Browns, I think he's got a lot of upside. He's like 26 years old. So I would be very happy with those two acquisitions. They're not the top guys on my board at those positions, but I think they make sense for the amount of money that Joe Douglas is going to want to dish out. And, we don't want to overpay for free agents. We want to build through the draft. I could definitely see this, and then obviously getting McBride would be icing on the cake. What else are you guys talking about there? Oh, it's 8:44. You know, I'm going to go till 9. Let's go till 9:30 tonight. I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to jump over to the phones. Let's do some calling questions. Let's see. Pull up the phone number. Get Google Voice open. No, that's not Google Voice. Open on the wrong web pages. All right. All right. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you guys can hear me. All right. Phone number is up on the screen, and we already have our first caller.
Call from
Mr. Motivation.
Hey, what's good, dude? Welcome to the cockpit.
Ryan, how you doing, brother?
Give me 1 second. I just want to see if there's a little bit of an echo. Can you talk one more time?
How you been, dude?
I think it's fine. We'll see. We'll let the chat know if I'm off. I think it's all right. I've been pretty good. I've been hanging in there. I've been busy. I've been ripping out a bathroom in our house and just kind of getting some housework done, cranking out some videos. I made 5 videos today. 5 videos. And I have 3 that are coming out over the course of the next few days because I'll be a little bit busy. But yeah, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. You know, it's been a good day so far.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's all you can hope for. So talk to me. How would you fix the New York Jets?
Realistically, I'm going to go with you on what you said, that like you need to get all the protection you need for Zach Wilson in that hand, whether if it's Evan Neal or Aquanu, whichever one is available, you automatically grab them at number 4.
Yeah, right. Like, so if you're saying, would you take an edge rusher at 4? Or are you going with the offensive line? That's kind of what you have your heart set on.
No, I have the offensive line. That's what my heart is set on for number 4.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Look, Becton gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I've talked to people that I feel confident enough, trusting, saying they are, I would say, concerned. Rumors are that he was over 400 pounds at the end of the season, and I think you actually wind up getting fined for being that heavy, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not even the fact of getting fined. That messes up your knees, too, on the long run.
Well, that's just it. I mean, when you're a big guy and you wind up having an injury and you can't work out to lose weight because of your injury, you're going to balloon up. Now, hopefully he's just going to work out like crazy and he's going to come back in phenomenal shape like he has the last 2 times he's hired a nutritionist. So I'm not super concerned, but I would go offensive line at 4, like Aquanu. Aquanu would be my number 1. Neal would be my number 2 on the offensive line. And I would just hedge my bets against Becton while hoping that he is our future left or right tackle.
But regardless, whatever side he goes on, I'm pretty sure he's going to have a good future just as long as he keeps that weight under control. And as for George Fant, like I trust him more than anything because he did all right helping us out this year.
Yeah, I get a feeling we may end up re-signing Fant. Like it may not be this offseason. It may become like training camp or so. Once we have a better idea of what Becton looks like they might just pull the trigger and, hey, we know this guy's going to be here. We got to at least lock down one of our tackles. But it would not shock me if Fant was here longer than Becton. And that's disheartening because of where you thought you were going to be after selecting Becton.
And I look at Fant as like one of those guys that like he's never really gotten an opportunity, but Joe Douglas just saw something in him and look how that turned out.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that George Fant would be loyal to the Jets, and I think as long as we extend him a fair offer, I think he's a lock to come back. I would be very surprised. The Jets wind up banking on this guy as being a left tackle. They give him his shot. I think we did right by Fant, and I think he would do right by accepting a fair offer from the New York Jets.
I personally agree. Now to the tight end situation. Honestly, the tight end, I mean, I don't know if it's possible. I mean, we do have the money for him, but I would love the Jets to go after Dalton Schultz from the Cowboys.
Yeah, look, I'd love to see that happen too. I get the feeling that like every year we go into the offseason, we're like, oh, we want Joe Thuney. Oh, we want, X, Y, Z. And it just never happens because unless we wind up throwing a ton of money like Mike McCagnon was doing, where you wind up getting C.J. Mosley, you get Jermaine Johnson, you get Le'Veon Bell. And I don't see Joe Douglas doing that. So I I do think they'll target Schultz, but I think they've seen enough good tight ends like Ruckert, like McBride, and some other guys that are going to be available that they may not go the expensive route, and they may go with someone with high upside like Howard or Njoku. But Schultz is absolutely my top free agent weapon.
And I saw your video earlier about Daniel Hunter, and I don't mind having him. I'm just not giving up the number 10 overall pick. That's not worth it. I'm only giving him a third and a fourth. That's it.
See, it's going to be interesting to see what winds up happening with him, because any other team, I would think, if they have the cap space to take on that contract, like if you told me I could give up a second-round pick and go get him, I would give up a second-round pick, no problem. No questions asked. I'll go get him. Not worried about the injury. Guy's a stud. Number 10 overall. Number 10 overall is scary. Because
absolutely, it just blew my mind, because there was no way I could give up number 10 from him. If you want me to give up the number 10 pick, it would have to be like somebody like Marshawn Lattimore, for example.
Yeah, and you know what? For me, I think I would want something like trade 10 and get back a second, because at least the value puts Daniel Hunter right around the 20th overall pick, and that's, at least you still have the same amount of picks you would have had, but that top 10 pick, that's going to be a blue chip player, so you don't want to give that up for no one.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Tough decision. I'm telling you right now, even for us fans, it's just so tough. It feels like we're in charge of the organization sometimes.
That's how I feel, right? This whole offseason, it's so exciting. I love, literally, I look forward to every Monday and Tuesday night, because I get to come on here and just rant with you guys and hear your thoughts, and then just recap everything that's happened. It's fun. I enjoy the offseason.
We all do, man. But I hope for the best. That's all I can say.
Dude, thank you so much for calling in. You have been...
That's it! You're out of here!
Cockpit. Oh, God. I just love the chicken. I'm so happy I was able to get the chicken work. Fun fact, I had... I worked on my whole stream setup. I had everything working. My internet's fine. My internet's not actually the issue for why things are lagging. My computer is screaming at me because I have so many programs open to make a really nice live stream generally. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to buy a new computer before I can go back to the way I want to stream.
Call from Chris from Florida.
Chris from Florida, what's up, dude?
Everybody, let me hear you going. Say it. J-E-T-S. Jets. What's going on? Jets Talk 24/7.
What's good, brother? Dude, it's good to have you on. It's been a long time. How would you fix the New York Jets, Chris?
I say free agency, as far as anything, extend George Fant. He's shown an immense amount of work and commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to push for Braxton Berrios. I don't know what it is about his character, but a lot of similarities to a Corvette kind of class guy who wants to just show he belongs in this kind of game and speed and attitude. And then, of course, safety on free agency. Everything else, draft. I don't think anything more than just how good we did last year and how high quality those players came out. And now the fact that we took advantage of the Senior Bowl, I have absolute faith in this Joe Douglas core of now having much more deep insight on players that we were working with already and have already had a little taste of the system.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end, wide receivers, offensive line, defensive line, some soft linebackers that nobody may have realized, I don't know what it is, but man, Coach Saleh, the way his staff handled the Senior Bowl and Joe Douglas's work ethic is just unbelievable, man. I cannot say more for younger Jet fans out there that are feeling so good about this team and where it's heading.
Dude, I love our coaching staff. I'm one that I've been talking recently, and I've been saying, like, hey, you know what? I love the idea that Saleh takes a step back, LaFleur takes a step back, Ulbrich takes a step back, lets everyone else coach for the Senior Bowl. I would love to see this in the NFL through the entire preseason. Let your coach stand on the sidelines, observe everything, and then, at least you have some growth from within. I think that's a good way to get other coaches, because you think there's only 32 head coaches. But if you have preseason games, 3 preseason games, you could have, 32, 64, what is that, 96 potential coaches if you had one guy coach, like a different coach each time. I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong way to think about it, but that would be pretty cool. Green Bean. What's up, brother? He hops in the chat. So talk to me. How would you approach free agency?
I think, if anything, I think how everything is planned out, and I'm with you on the whole. I think we're going to get at least one of the top 2 edge rushers. Like, just the way things are standing out, and we now see who the Jaguars head coach is. We can understand that a coach that actually has an experience with a quality quarterback would understand, hey, I got to protect this quarterback for my future job and for the future of the company. So I see the Jaguars going more now offensive linemen. We should go ahead and take whichever edge rushers available. And then with our 10th pick, I'm really, really big on taking an offense. I would rather take the center and then move McGovern to guard.
You think you think Jacksonville goes with the offensive line? You think a quarterback sneaks into the top 3, or you think Hamilton goes before us?
I think quarterback goes in the top 3 for sure.
I could see someone sneaking in there. And then one of the edge rushers falls to us at 4. Then you take, if Linderbaum's there at 10, I have no problem taking Linderbaum at 10 if you've addressed edge rusher at 4. No problems whatsoever.
That's what I'm thinking as well. And if we just don't, I don't know what it is, but seeing that one guy, not Penne, but from the Senior Bowl, oh my gosh, that one guard was unbelievable.
Trevor Penning was
my gosh,
tackle. He's the tackle. I like Zion Johnson, the guard out of BC. He's someone that I would take in the second round if you decided you want to go with a top wide receiver at 10. I understand center at 10 it feels like a reach, but if you hit on the guy, I'll take a hit on a non-premium position over a whiff on a premium position any day.
Yeah, I feel like after hearing so much of the conference and the way that the staff has moved forward and everything, and just seeing all the lines and connections of, free agency and talks of who they've been interested, who have they been talking with, I think that they're really sticking down with the whole sticking to the trenches first. I think more than anything, we're going to see a much more attack on the outer defense and wide receiver range when it comes to the second round and afterwards. I really think we're going to get with a tight end in the second round. Anyways, man, thanks for talking. Go, John!
J-E-T-S, go! It's always fun to talk to you. Ooh, who we got now?
Call from
Vinny, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's up? How you been?
Oh, just absolutely wonderful. Having a grand old time over here, enjoying watching the Senior Bowl, seeing all the players, doing my research. I love it. Talk to me, Vinny.
Yeah.
How would you rebuild the New York Jets?
It's a difficult question, but...
Well, I'm asking you. That's the whole question for tonight. Or if you got something else to talk about, I can talk about something else.
Well, obviously, there are a lot of areas of weakness that this team needs to improve. Sure. I would love to get a pass rush early on in this draft, if possible. If the cards fall our way, you get the reports our tips is falling in the stock, which could benefit us. And then after that, so let's say if you do theoretically land an edge rusher at 4. It all depends on what you want to do at 10. Do you want to get Zach more protection, or do you want to get him another weapon to work with? It's a conundrum.
Well, it's only a conundrum because we don't know what happened in free agency. Because if you wind up going the route of, say, Laken Tomlinson, the guard out of San Francisco, you sign him. Now all of a sudden, I'm not thinking offensive line at all in the top 10. I mean, it's not ideal because I really like Ekwonu. But I'm hoping for one of those edge rushers. I think one of the edge rushers is going to fall. But I don't know if I want to gamble on that.
No, you know what? You know what I say is it's fun having an off season where we're not the big scandal of the off season.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, right? I'm sitting here watching the Texans, the Dolphins, Giants, the Broncos. Literally everything's just crumbling down. I'm just sitting here eating my popcorn, just staying silent. Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah, no, it's fun. That's one of my favorite things. And the second thing is how pathetic Patriots fans are with thumping their chest about Mac Jones being a Pro Bowl alternate.
Oh, did you see how good he was at the skills competition? Oh, man. If you guys haven't watched Mac Jones at the skills competition, I should have pulled up a video because it's aggressively bad. it's so terrible. He couldn't hit the broadside of the barn.
So I didn't get to see it because I was at work. But then again, who watches the Pro Bowl stuff?
No, I wound up watching I didn't even watch highlights. I walked past the TV and the TV was showing a few things. They're saying how like this was one of the worst Pro Bowls ever. It's like, are they really like that wasn't actually football because no one's even tackling. They got to get rid of it.
Oh yeah, no.
Give them a vacation to Hawaii or something, and then it was in Vegas this year, right?
Is like you see people trash Mac Jones and Patriots fans come out of the woodwork like finding every little minuscule statistic where they could say he's good.
Oh, trust it. I mean, that's kind of what we were trying to do with Zach for this year. But I do think Zach's upside is astronomically way higher than Mac Jones. Mac Jones, I think we saw him peak in college. I don't think he's going to get better than what we saw this year. And you saw once the cold weather kicked in, it's over.
My theory has always been the same: is that he was going to start out probably better than everyone else, and then within a year or two, the rest of his class was going to surpass him.
Yep, yeah, 100%. I think he was the most pro-ready quarterback by far. I would say him. Then you would probably say Trevor Lawrence. Then probably Zach Wilson.
Then Fields and Lance. Yeah, I feel the same way. But going back to I did love the Senior Bowl. I mean, everyone's already talked to it to death. The locker room speech was epic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's great. I love the go hit something. Ron Middleton, I want to run through a brick wall for you. I really like this guy. What's great now is we're kind of showcasing him. He was able to coach when Salah wasn't there. He was able to coach for the Senior Bowl. I would love to see this guy get a few more reps in the preseason because if someone wanted to hire him away, we'd wind up getting a third-round compensation pick because he's been on the team for 2 years now.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. And, one thing I love about him coaching the Senior Bowl that he's probably going to spot the best tight ends in the class.
Oh, 100%. Did you see – I don't know if you watched my video on it, but I paused it, and when they did the Reese's shower or the Gatorade shower, Trey McBride was the one that dumped the Reese's on top of Ron Middleton.
It's hard for me to choose between him and, I know McBride's a better one, but, the Ruckert story is just so appealing.
I like Ruckert a lot. I think if I'm sitting there at 35 and McBride's on the board, I'm going to take that. If I'm sitting at 35, McBride's already gone, no issues taking Jeremy Ruckert whatsoever.
No, I agree too.
Vinny, it has been absolutely wonderful talking to you, but you know what time it is. You have been ejected! That's it! You're out of here! All right. We'll get back to the calls in just a few seconds. I want to pull up a super chat from the NY Bully. Where is it? Bam! The NY Bully comes in with super chat, says, I would trade the 4th pick to a quarterback-needy team like Denver or Washington, collect more draft capital, and take Linderbaum at 10. I would address edge in free agency. A good edge rusher rarely hits free agency. It's so tough, unless you want to go with maybe a veteran. If a team wants to come up to 4, like if Washington wants to jump up to 4, I'm all about it. I don't mind. What do you get? You get the 1 next year. I want a first next year. That's my biggest thing. I want to trade out so I can have a second 1 next year. I just want perpetual second-round picks. Although not really, because then you wind up, that means you're picking really high if people want to trade up. So I want to never trade down again after this year because we're going to play well. Look, taking more draft capital, edge rusher is going to be tough. I don't know where to go in free agency. I like some of the veteran guys that are hitting free agency. Maybe Daniel Hunter does hit free agency if they wind up cutting him to save some cap space, but I don't know. I wouldn't be counting my chickens just yet. But we'll see. I like where you're going with this, Bully. All right, guys, phone number is on the screen if you want to call in. We're going to be taking phone calls till 9:30. And by we, I mean me, myself, and I. I'm the only one over here. I say we a lot. I got to get an editor. I'll get an editor or someone that just goes behind the scenes that I can make fun of, and then they edit my video, and then it's better.
Call from
Nick.
What's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
What is up? How Mac Jones is a Pro Bowl quarterback, I have no idea, but that's a different discussion for a different day.
Dude, I have no idea. It makes no sense to me. The fact that Herbert was snubbed and like, I think it was Herbert and was it Allen?
Wait, Herbert didn't make it?
No, Herbert did make it. Who am I talking about? Who were the top? It was Herbert. It was Mahomes, but
Burrow.
No, but didn't Burrow make it? I thought Burrow made it, but then he wouldn't be able to. I don't know. I don't get how Mac Jones made it. Mac Jones should have made it. There's just too many Patriot fans. Tom Brady made too many Patriot fans, and now there's too many. It's like the Jets and Zach Wilson winning, Rookie of the Week when everyone votes on him. It's just, it's like, oh, geez. All right, sorry. How would you rebuild?
Like, I want to throw money at the offensive line probably more than a lot of other people do, because like I want to draft Linderbaum because I know Connor McGovern played pretty well down the stretch, but I don't think he's reliable, and two, I don't think he's here long term. I mean, after his deal's up, I really doubt he's going to re-sign. I mean, dude, and Linderbaum is so athletic, he's so strong, he's the perfect fit for the scheme, and I just don't see how you could pass up on a potential Nick Mangold, replacement. It's very hard to pass it up, in my opinion. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I have a love affair with Linderbaum and a hate affair with Linderbaum at the same time. Like, I don't want him in the top 10. I originally wanted him when I thought the Seattle pick was going to be like late teens, early 20s. And then as we saw Linderbaum go higher, I was like, oh, man, we're going to have to take him at number 4. Maybe he's there at number 10. If he's there at number 10, I'd strongly consider it. Not if I had taken Ekwonu at 4 or Neal at 4, but I think there's a conversation to be had. I don't particularly – I think what you have to look at is what is the difference in wins that you get from, say, taking an edge rusher at 4, or maybe Kyle Hamilton at 4, and then a center, say, in the 3rd round, like Alec Lindstrom, or maybe Zion Johnson in the 2nd round. Because you could argue that the positional flexibility of Zion Johnson, center guard, McGovern, center guard, and then you have to take a developmental left tackle or right tackle probably later in the draft just in case something happens to Becton. I don't know.
Yeah, and like I can't cut you off, but like my big thing is, dude, we have to surround the quarterback. The offense, in my opinion, should be the priority. Kicking George Karlaftis at number 4 overall should not be the move. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people hate me for saying that, but like, dude, you have to make sure that Zach Wilson is the guy, because if we're going into year 3 like we did with Sam and we don't know if he's the guy or not, we are set back so many years it's not even funny.
So
like, we need
Linderbaum at 4 then? That's what you're saying?
Not at 4, no.
You're saying at 10.
But if he's there at 10,
so
I would definitely.
So who would you take at 4 then? Are you're saying you would go offensive line there? Like, let's say Thibodeau. We'll say Thibodeau and Hutchinson are off the board, and one of the offensive linemen. Are you taking offensive linemen? Are you taking Hamilton? What do you do? And does that change your 10th pick then?
Number 4 is honestly flexible for me because I think at number 4, I agree with Green Bean. You just take the best player available. But at number 10, I really think you have to go offense. And I was more talking about free agency. Like, to me, just the overall offseason should be the mindset of, like, we have to make sure that Zach Wilson has as much help as possible and he's not throwing to Tariq Black against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. I mean, like, I really just want to invest in the offense as much as possible. And if he takes I forgot his name, Kayvon Thibodeau at number 4, I would not be mad at that because our pass rush has stunk for so many years. But like, my whole philosophy is you have to get a guy like a Traylon Brooks if you want to do that. You need to get him legit number 1 wide receiver, guys that can really help this kid develop into a franchise quarterback. I mean, the Bengals, do you really think the Bengals regret drafting Jamar Chase? I don't think they do.
No, not at all. I don't think any of the receivers in this class are quite what Jamar Chase was to last year's class, but the point still stands. I completely agree. If you build up your offense so much that Zach Wilson almost can't fail, that's when you start getting guys signing for less money on the defensive side of the ball. I guarantee that's exactly what you're going to see out of the Bengals.
All right. Good night, man.
Take it easy, brother. Thank you so much for calling in. That's it. You're out of here. You have been ejected from the cockpit. I wish I had a deep voice. I got this new microphone, and I think I can. There's actually like a little sound thing. I guess I could screw around with that at some point. Haven't figured out how to do that yet. Ooh, we got another caller.
Call from
Green Beans Beard, man.
Jeremy, what's up?
What's going on? It's hard being Green Beans Beard. He's always eating chili.
I saw as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, that's definitely Jeremy. What's going on, brother?
What's up?
I'm hanging in there, trying to keep myself busy throughout this off season, doing my research.
Yeah.
Watching some tape. Talk to me. How do you want to fix the New York Jets?
How do I want to fix the New York Jets? Well, I think we need a right guard. Everyone talks about wide receiver. We need a right guard. We need an edge. Those are the two things that I need addressed, and then I need tight end addressed. Like, I'm sticking to the basics. Like, we got to fill the complete holes where we have nothing.
Yeah, I think in my mind, I'd love to hopefully bring back LDT as our right guard. So that way you could go into the draft hoping that Thibodeau's there. If he's not, then you take Aquanu and it doesn't matter because you got 1 year of LDT left. What I would be a little worried about is going after someone like Laken Tomlinson or like a Daniels out of Chicago. One of those two guys, because you're going to pay a good amount of money to him. And then, like, what happens if both edge rushers are gone? Are you, like, or what if it goes, like, 2 edge rushers and friggin' Hamilton? And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, no, what do we do? It's only the 2 offensive linemen. I don't know. I'm not sure how things go.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be hard because we're gonna have to see how free agency pans out anyway. But like, to me, it's like I don't care. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I would love Aquanu. I mean, obviously, it would be amazing if we ended up getting him. But Zion Johnson to me is good. I mean, I just know that when, like, by the time the draft's over and free agency's over, we can't go in like last year. Like, I mean, I just want to have those things addressed. I want to know we have a really good tight end. We're really excited about tight end. We're really excited about a right guard, and that takes care of Zach. I would love to have another receiver, but I don't think we necessarily have to pick a wide receiver with the 10th pick. And then, I mean, the free agency throws the whole thing off because we just don't know who we're going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to sit down and make another mock off season because I have one that will go completely against kind of what I did in my first one, but like I think it's more realistic that's going to happen. Like I think we do get a wide receiver in free agency, and I think it's probably going to be like Allen Robinson, and we're going to be slightly disappointed, and we're not going to get like the elite top guy at the top end of the draft, and everything we've heard is just a smokescreen.
Yeah, but hey, if we did that though, if we got him, then at least it's that position we don't have to worry about, right? So then we can go in and just like know exactly what we're doing.
Exactly, and I don't think it necessarily impedes you from taking someone else because signing Allen Robinson to a 4-year deal, that could very easily be a 2-year contract. Not to mention Corey Davis could be cut after next year anyway. He was only signed a 3-year deal that was really a 2-year deal with a team year option for the 3rd year. So it doesn't impede you from taking wide receiver early if you wanted to. It may not be the best allocation of resources for just next year, but yeah, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. Hey, if we don't sign Braxton, if we can't sign him because he wants too much money, keep your eye on Kyle Phillips. We all watched him on my show. Green Bean, me, Rusty Spooner, recommended that we look at his tape. The guy from UCLA. And if you watch his tape, you'll get excited. And this is a kid we can get in the 4th or 5th round.
I like that. There's a few wide receivers I like. I like the kid from Penn State. I don't know if he makes it to the top end of the 2nd round, but if we didn't go receiver in the 1st round, we weren't sure what we were going to do in free agency, and he's sitting there at 35, 38, I would have taken him. Doxson. It sucks.
Doxson, I like him.
We would have been able to look at him at the Senior Bowl, and he didn't wind up going, which is a little frustrating.
Yeah. Hey, it's going to be like we thought last year was huge and a tremendous offseason. This is going to be an amazing offseason.
This is probably the most important offseason that we've had as a team because you knew last year was going to be the quarterback. You knew it wasn't going to be Lawrence. More than likely it was going to be Wilson, and then you're trying to figure everything else out. Dude, I can't tell you how much it beats me up that we don't know Becton and Mims. Like that, like Mims, I'm pretty much writing off, but not having Becton, like wasting those 2 first and second round picks just really burns me up, because this rebuild should be way further, and we shouldn't be considering an offensive lineman or a wide receiver in the top 10.
I know I jinxed it when I got Green Bean the Becton jersey. That jinxed the whole freaking thing.
I said, I was like, I'm not buying a new jersey. I'm wearing my Mangold jersey. I'm waiting until someone signs a second contract. I'm not doing this again.
Exactly.
Jeremy, it's been a lot of fun. Good talking to you, and I'm sure I'll see you very soon.
Take care, brother.
Peace.
That's it. You're out of here.
Oh, jeez. The chicken flying across the screen. If you're wondering why a chicken flies across the screen when I eject people, it's because this is the cockpit. Context clues. Who we got?
Call from
Roger from Comac.
Roger from Colmac, how you doing tonight? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's going on, Ryan? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Talk to me. How would you rebuild the New York Jets?
All right. So what I'm about to say, I'm probably going to piss some people off. I don't know.
I love it.
But
let's go.
Here's what I'm thinking, right? At number 4, let's just say, for argument's sake, both Thibodeau and Ekwonu are on the board.
Okay.
I'm passing on Thibodeau. I'm taking Ekwonu. And to be honest with you, I'm getting, Clowney vibes from Thibodeau. I know Clowney, he was supposed to be this great, I don't know what, this, edge guy. And to be honest with you, he's disappointed in my opinion. I mean, not to say that he's not good, but I'm just saying not worth, the number 1 pick that they gave up for him.
Sure.
So,
I would say that there's a value in him being the number 1 recruit coming out of high school, and then living up to at least the stature of appearing to be like a top 5 pick. I think that is impressive to do. But I'm not 100% against your line of thinking. I'm not quite there. I would still take Thibodeau first, but.
Yeah, and I think like the New York market would just drown this kid Thibodeau. I mean, I don't think he'd be able to keep up with expectations coming into this market. So I'd rather go with the safer pick with the with the lineman, and then I'd address edge later in the draft. Like I'm thinking, and this is what I'm thinking JD's going to do. I'm thinking he's going to grab that number 10 pick. He's going to trade it. Right, he's gonna trade down in the draft and then try to pick up like a Jermaine Johnson somewhere in the
exactly what I think.
Middle of the first.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm going with it.
Could you imagine we take Ekwonu at 4, we trade down from 10 with like the Saints, pick up Michael Thomas in the trade down, and then at pick 18 you take Jermaine Johnson, and then you get Trey McBride and like maybe Brisker, the safety out of Penn State in the second round? Oh man, would that change this team?
That would be awesome if they can do that. I mean, honestly, and I don't think you can walk away from this draft without an edge guy in the first round, because there's so much talent on defense coming out this year. You gotta dip your toe in that water. You can't.
Green Bean's really preached that a
empty-handed.
lot. He's preached that a lot, and I completely understand. I have no problem going like the Ekwonu wide receiver route in the top 10, just because like if you want to say, hey, we need to help our young quarterback, by all means. Like I don't mind losing a ton of games I shouldn't say a ton of games, but I don't mind losing games next year because of a bad defense, because we surrounded Zach Wilson and we're now scoring 35 points a game. Totally cool with that. Then the following offseason, just put every asset into defense, all the money, all the draft picks.
Yeah, but And what's to say you can't win? I mean, look at what the Bengals did this year. I mean, they're in the friggin' Super Bowl, for crying out loud.
They got our boy Trey Hendrickson last offseason. That was who we wanted as an edge rusher. I was very upset. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Carl Lawson, and I hope that he bounces back. But, man, dude, if you get an edge rusher, you look at how Robert Saleh's defense has changed. When he was in San Francisco, he was like mid to late 20s his first 2 years. They get Nick Bosa. He jumps up to like number 8. Then he gets hurt the next year, and then they fall back down to like the 20s again. So I can't tell you how important edge rush is for this defense.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, we definitely got to get an edge. Definitely got to protect Zach, and we need receivers. And now it's probably gonna piss people off. I'm thinking we ignore the wide receiver and try to double dip at tight end in the draft. Go with both, McBride and Ruckert. Stick them in the, in the line. And now you're talking about, just max protecting Zach.
Yeah, look, hey, I wouldn't necessarily. You're saying things that I don't hate. Like, I don't mind it. What do you mean ignore the wide receiver position? Because that's big for me. If you're telling me we're going into the offseason where we have Moore, Davis, you re-sign Berrios, and you bring in, maybe like a mid-tier wide receiver, and you just have a very deep room, and then you want to go with the 2 tight ends.
Well,
I don't hate it.
I don't see a Jamar Chase in this draft, right? So I don't think any wide receiver you take in the first round is going to have that impact first year. I think it's going to take him at least half a year to get acclimated before he actually starts making any kind of impact. So I'm thinking stick with the guys you got now. You got the top 4. And then, just see where it goes with the tight ends. Because I think with the tight ends, it's going to put you.
Get out of here!
You have been ejected from the cockpit. And I want to touch on that last point he was making real quick before I jump into some more phone calls. And that is the Jets and potentially double dipping at tight end. If you double dip at tight end, now all of a sudden you have McBride and Ruckert and Kolar, or whatever you want to do, Njoku and McBride, or however you do it. You get 2 big tight ends. Those are receiving weapons, but they're also helping on the offensive line. We wanted to run 12 personnel a lot this year, and we didn't do it at all. So if you have 12 personnel and you got 2 tight ends on the field, that means you got 2 wide receivers. So do you need as much depth? I mean, obviously with the injuries, you can't bank on everyone staying healthy the whole time, but maybe wide receiver is not as big of a need, maybe. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I can see the thought process. Marty, this is Aussie Jet in the house, mate. Thank you for the super chat. He says, why are we writing off Mims? The poor bastard has struggled with injuries and really hasn't had a chance to reach his max. I think we are tired of Mims. I think that's what it is. It seems like the coaching staff was tired of answering questions about him. He never got any snaps. The fact that you saw Tariq Black out there at wide receiver instead of Denzel Mims is all you need to know about Denzel Mims. So I am definitely writing him off. If I could throw him into a trade package for another wide receiver or a trade down to sweeten up our draft pick that we could get from him, I'm cutting bait with him. It sucks. I don't like it, but man, he just hasn't helped himself. I don't know. It's just a kick in the pants. I'm not going to lie. But Marty, as always, I appreciate you. All right, boys and girls, let's take, we'll do 2 more phone calls. Go 2 more phone calls here. And then I'm going to go play some Halo. That's what's going to happen. I'm not very good at Halo, but I'm going to go play some Halo. All right, phone numbers on the board, 973-506-8487. Call in now. Tell me how you would rebuild the New York Jets. What is our most important thing we need to focus on? Where would you go with our draft picks or free agents? Who knows? Oh, man, who we got on the horn?
Call from
John, welcome to the cockpit. How are you doing on this fine night?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, just another day in Jets paradise. How would you rebuild the New York Jets?
So my first 4 draft picks would be Iquanu at 4.
Okay.
And then I would go Karlaftis at 10.
Okay.
I would go McBride.
Okay. Yep.
And then at 38, I would look to trade that for a receiver.
That's if I could write in exactly how I want my draft to go. I don't know if I'm on the Karlaftis, but I'm on an edge rusher at 10. And I could trade that second round pick, that 38 overall, for like a Calvin Ridley, or I don't know if I would give up a 2 for Amari Cooper, but I would absolutely give up a 3 for Amari Cooper. You're taking on a big contract, but I would do that. I think trading for a receiver, an established guy, while you have Elijah Moore on a cheap deal, while you have Zach Wilson on a cheap deal, having an experienced route runner in the building is not a bad move.
Mm-hmm.
So who would you address in free agency then?
Free agency, I want to get a veteran corner, maybe Carlton Davis from Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. That would
And
be pretty good.
then-
Man, I would love to get J.C. Jackson from New England. It's never going to happen, but I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm. I see him going back. I don't see him leaving.
No, that's just it. I mean, unless he's sick and tired of the Belichick stick, which I don't think so. You made it to the playoffs this year. They got the money to pay him. I think at the very least they franchise tag him. I don't think they're going to let a good corner walk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So talk to me. We've been talking for 2 minutes. It feels like you got nothing else to say.
All right.
What else you got?
Okay. I was gonna say first for the linebacker position. I'm not sure if I would go draft or free agency because I think we have some young players with Nasir-Dean, but we also have like Mosley's a veteran, Quincy's like younger, but I think we could go either one. I definitely do think we need a linebacker though.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opinion that I would be willing to trade down from 10 and be looking at either an edge rusher or a wide receiver or a linebacker, and I would be fine with pretty much any one of those. There's part of me that really wants Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean, but man, I know the first round is just such a tough ask for a linebacker, but man, they are violent.
Mm-hmm. I was watching Dean. He just flies around the field. He's so quick.
He's so good. I can't not watch him and just be like, wow. The way this guy he hits like a brick shit house.
Even at 10, I wouldn't mind it, depending on how the board falls.
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel a little bit better seeing, Daniel Jeremiah's power rankings, and they had both linebackers in the top 10 along with I think Wilson, Drake, and London were like top 12 or top 11. So yeah, look, a lot of the players we want are going to be right around that power ranking of 10. So depending on how the board breaks, 2 quarterbacks go in the top 10. That pushes guys down a little bit. Now all of a sudden you can get a better guy just a few picks later if you want. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of different ways we can go this offseason.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, what was your favorite thing you got out of this year? Who was your biggest, I won't say surprise, but who do you like the most from this year that you hope we have and continues to grow next year?
For me, it's easily Elijah Moore. I just love watching that dude play, run routes. He feels like he's a catch machine, run after catch. He does it all. And then he was stealed the draft at 34. And
I can't
even
believe
at
he
the
made
time,
it that far.
I was like, we needed a receiver, but that was like a little high for me at the time.
Yeah.
But he's been a stud.
Yeah, dude, I'll admit, after taking Mims in the second round last year, signing Keelan Cole and Corey Davis, no thought of us going receiver in the second round. Was totally perplexed. I was like, what? What do you mean we're not going defense? It's build around your quarterback. I can't fault building around your quarterback. If that's the game plan, just pump every asset you have and make sure Zach Wilson is the guy. Because if Zach Wilson doesn't hit, guess what? Whole regime, out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
All right, brother. It's been a lot of fun talking to you.
Would you rather trade for Ridley or Cooper?
Ooh.
Get out of here!
From the cockpit, but I will answer that real quick. If the mental stuff is all right, I'm trading for Ridley. If not, I'm trading for Cooper. It's a, cop out, but it is what it is.
J. Cole.
Ooh, what is up, J. Cole? Welcome to the cockpit.
Yo, what's good?
Hanging in there. How are you on this fine Monday night?
Good. I just had some soup. It was pretty delicious.
Ooh, what kind of soup?
Chicken noodle soup, my favorite.
Chicken noodle soup with soda on side?
Yes, sir.
There you go. I'm more of a chowder kind of guy. I like I'm not a big brothy soup person. I'm a big New England and Manhattan clam chowder. I think that stuff's really good. But anyway, I digress. How would you rebuild the New York Jets?
All right. You want to hear?
Yep.
All right. So I would take either Akeem Ekwonu or Evan Neal at 10. Right?
Okay. You ran at 4.
Yes, at 4. At 4. My bad.
Yes.
And then I would take Jermaine Johnson at 10, Florida State University.
I think he's going to fly up draft boards. I had him in the second round originally because he was like mid-second round, and then he just kept creeping up. And now I'm seeing him 20. I'm seeing him 15. I'm like, ooh, you know what? Taking him at 10, I'm okay with that move. If you think he's the guy.
I really like him at 10. Like, me and Jeremy were talking about it, and we were like discussing him and Karlaftis, and I like Jermaine Johnson better because like he has like more bend off the edge, and Karlaftis is more like kind of like a power rusher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think Karlaftis is a nice complement to Lawson, being that he's more of like an edge setter as opposed to like a bend around. I don't know. I want the bendy guy. Like I would like a Thibodeau.
Yeah.
But if you're concerned about maybe the work ethic of a Thibodeau, but you're not concerned about Jermaine Johnson or some of these other edge rushers, like, yeah, take the lineman at 4. Ekwonu, by all accounts, will bury guys 6 feet deep.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
So what would you do in the second round after taking Ekwonu at 1 and Jermaine Johnson at 10?
So I would hope Trey McBride is there with our first one.
Sure. If he's not there, what would you do?
If he's not there, I'm looking at Jahan Dotson from Penn State, wide receiver.
Yeah, I think he's good. He's got some sticky fingers. When I was watching him, I was like, man, I hope he makes it out of the first round, because if we don't address wide receiver, that's the one I would want. Like I've watched David Bell. He's fine. Dotson's who I want ahead of Bell, though. Bell feels like more height. I don't know, it could be wrong. He feels more like Elijah Moore when I watched him. And I don't get me wrong. I only watched like 1 round of highlight tapes on him, so I did not do much research. I'm not thinking wide receiver in the second round so much.
Yeah, no, I really like Dotson. He's like pretty explosive. I've watched his highlights too, and Bell is pretty good too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset with either one, but I think like stature wise, Burks, London are like the size kind of guys I want. Outside of that, like I'd rather be for a trade than I think taking someone like Bell in the second.
Yeah, I get that, because like we kind of need more of like a bigger, like kind of go get that ball receiver, like a Burks.
Well, that's just it, because you watch Zach Wilson throw the ball up, and there's a lot of times he throws it up and he kind of wants his receiver to come back for the ball, because that's how you get pass interference calls and everything. And if you can get someone that's like 6'5", 6'3", and can jump out of the gym, like Drake London is also a USC basketball player. Burks, I'm sure, must have played basketball at some point. This guy is enormous. He's just a specimen.
Yeah.
So, you get some guy that could jump out of the gym. But, hey, I'm not opposed. If they want to say, hey, we need the route runners, but then we want to have, the tight ends be our red zone targets, our big jump ball guys. We're going to keep things around the line of scrimmage. We're not going to risk throwing those deep balls to, like, the guys that can't create separation. I know that's one thing that I've heard a lot about Drake London. Oh, he can't create separation because he's got,
I've heard that too about him. He's like,
it's a concern.
Just like kind of, for sure.
Well, that's one of those things is like, Denzel Mims was great at contested catches, but does contested catches mean you can't get separation? So it is a contested catch. Like it's a weird catch-22. It's a good stat, but you got to be very, very careful.
Yeah, no, you gotta get open first, and then go get that football. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, all in. Who do you want free agency? You got 30 seconds left.
Free agency, I would give all the money we have for J.C. Jackson.
Ooh,
and maybe even like a Mike Williams. He would be great for Zach Wilson. And I would love to shout out my boy Jermaine. Let's go and Green Bean. They're coming to my wedding, baby. Woo!
I love it.
I'm J. Cole, baby. I'm on the rise. Let's go, Jets.
I love J. Cole. Thank you so much for calling in, brother.
You're out of here!
Ejected from the cockpit. All right, boys and girls, we have hit the 9:30 hour. So that's going to be it for me tonight. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to play some Halo, hang out, relax, unwind a little bit. And I'll be back here tomorrow. We'll be live. Me, O'Leary, Green Bean, and Ollie from Loyal NY Jet Fans. We're going to be talking a little bit more Senior Bowl. We're going to answer all your questions again. So all you have to do is hang out. I see you guys saying boo. Sorry. Wait, are you saying boo for Halo or boo for me getting off the stream? I don't know. Whatever, boys and girls. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed my time tonight. This is Jets Talk signing off. Jets.